So hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is AMSYAR bin HAMZAH. Now we go to the part of introduction of volumetric analysis. So what is volumetric analysis? Volumetric analysis is a quantitative analytical method used to determine the concentration of solution. It's based on accurate volume measurement and provide precise result. One of the most common technique in volumetric analysis, we all know, titration. So now we go to titration. Okay, now we will go to titration. I know you guys will feel very excited to know about this topic. So titration is a technique used to determine the concentration of unknown solution by reacting it with a solution of known concentration. So an indicator is used to detect endpoint through a color change. So we know about titration now. So we will go to principle of titration. So let's go. Okay, now we go to principle of titration. So the principle of titration is based on neutralization reaction between acid and base. This titrant is added to analyze until endpoint is reached. The volume used is then recorded to calculate the concentration of the unknown solution. So we now know all about titration. So let's go, we jump to our experiment. Bye.
Titration is important in the food industry because it helps determine the concentration of substances in food products. It is used to ensure product quality and consistency, measure acidity levels, maintain food safety standards, and control the taste, freshness, and shelf life of food products. For example, titration can be used to determine the acidity of vinegar, fruit juice, milk, and soft drinks. One application of titration in the food industry is determining the acidity of vinegar. Vinegar contains acetic acid, which is titrated with sodium hydroxide solution. As shown in the chemical equation, acetic acid reacts with the sodium hydroxide to produce sodium acetate and water. The titration result is then used to calculate the concentration of acetic acid in vinegar.
Hello guys, today I want to explain about my part, which is how food company test the quality of their vinegar. Vinegar get its sour taste from something called acetic acid. To make sure every bottle of vinegar tastes exactly the same and safe for the customer, company use a simple laboratory test which is called titration. This test tells us how exactly strong the acid is. To do this test, we just only need a few items. For liquid, we need our vinegar sample, testing liquid called sodium hydroxide, water, and a special chemical called phenolphthalein to act as a color indicator. For the tool, we need a pipette to measure liquid perfectly, conical flask to hold our sample, a long mark glass tube called a burette to add our testing liquid drop by drop. The procedure is done by 4 easy steps. First step is vinegar is too strong by its own, so we use a pipette to mix a small amount of vinegar with water in flask. Second, we add 2 or 3 drops of indicator dye into a vinegar mix. Right now, the liquid is look clearly like water. Third, we fill our long burette tube with the sodium hydroxide and slowly drip it into the flask while giving a gentle swirl. Finally, we watch the color change. The exact moment the clear liquid turned into a pink, we stop the titration. This pink color means the test is done. We look at how much liquid we drip out of the tube and tell us the strength of the vinegar.
Okay, in this slide, I will show you guys our data and table. So, there are 3 trials were carried out. The volume of sodium hydroxide used were 24.60 ml, 24.80 ml and 24.70 ml. The average volume obtained was 24.70 ml. So, since the value are very close to each other, the results are considered accurate and reliable. And the average volume we will use in the next slide, which is calculation.
Okay, now let's calculate the concentration of the acetic acid. So, the first step is we need to calculate the mole of sodium hydroxide by using the formula M multiply with V. The mole obtained are 2.47 times 10 to the power of negative 3. Since the ratio is 1 to 1, so the mole of acetic acid are also same. Finally, we can calculate the concentration of acetic acid, which is by using formula mole divided by volume. So the concentration of acetic acid in the vinegar sample that we get is 0.0988 molar.
Okay, last but not least, the titration has many advantages. For example, it provides accurate result and complete quickly. Moreover, it is inexpensive because only simple equipment is used. Otherwise, the method is easy to perform and is widely used in food quality control. Therefore, titration is simple and reliable method for food in industry. Thank you.
On my part, I will do for last part, which is conclusion part. We are accept to sum up that titration is one of the most important analytical techniques which is used in the food industry because it provides accurate, reliable, and quantitative result for determining the concentration of substance in food. As you guys know, throughout this presentation, we learned that titration is a type of volumetric analysis that works based on the neutralization reaction between an acid and an bases. By carefully measuring the volume of a standard solution needed to react completely with an unknown solution, the concentration of analyte that can be calculated precisely. We also discussed the vinegar titration experiment where sodium hydroxide experiment was used as the titrant and phenolphthalein as the indicator. The endpoint was identified as by a color change from colorless by a light pink solution. The experimental results show consistent titration result, demonstrating that the method is both precise and dependable for food analysis. Furthermore, titration plays a significant role in food quality control that helps manufacturers monitor acid level, maintain product consistently, measure compliance with food regulation, and guarantee consumer safety. So for overall, the study has shown that titration is not only a fundamental laboratory technique, but also an essential tool for ensuring the quality, safety, and standardization of food product. As the food industry continues to grow, analytical methods such as titration will remain crucial in maintaining high quality product and protecting consumer health. Thank you. That's all from me. So out.